Welcome home to USA Global TV and Radio. Ours is a place where dreams take flight, voices are heard, and stories are shared. This is where cultures meet, connections are formed, and ideas are transformed into action. This is your destination for authentic storytelling, diverse perspectives, and meaningful conversations. We're where global stories unite and bridges are built beyond all borders. Discover our world of education, entertainment, hope, and inspiration. Together, we're building bridges worldwide. Subscribe to our USA Global TV channel and download our USA Global TV app. Be our guest or join our team. Visit usaglobaltv.com. With heartfelt thanks to our executive producer, Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck, music scored by Yifei Tang from Cloud Road Music, creative direction by Paul Garcia, and I'm Al Cini, and I'm very proud to be part of the USA Global TV and Radio family. So join us here at USA Global TV and Radio. Make us your home for global connection. All rights reserved. This video and its contents are the exclusive property of USA Global TV and Radio. Unauthorized use, duplication, or redistribution in any form is strictly prohibited. Thank you for being a part of our global community. Let's inspire together.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of Intentional Productivity Tips. I am Megan. I am your very favorite strategic productivity partner, and I want to thank you for joining me today on USA Global TV and Radio's YouTube channel, where please remember to like, subscribe, and even be notified when new episodes drop. I highly recommend you check out the channel. There's some amazing other shows that you can watch and learn to become the best version of yourself. And isn't that truly what we're looking for? I want to welcome you today, and I want to thank you for joining us. We are continuing today our holiday sloth productivity series, where today we are going to talk about your year-end productivity, how to finish the year organized, and please note, everything we're talking about today is Sloth-Approved. So let's get into it and talk a little bit about, first of all, what we're going to do today and what we've been doing the last couple of weeks. So today, again, we are talking about how to finish your year organized. And the goal today is for you to create a checklist, a productivity organized checklist that works just for you. We're going to talk about how to put that together. But once again, you are joining me on our holiday Sloth Productivity series. What we've been doing over the last several weeks, this is our fourth week, the last several weeks. And if you have any questions or want to look at past episodes of our Holiday Sloth series, please check them out in the comments below. One of the reasons we are focusing on sloths this holiday season is because we can learn from them. 'Tis the season to organize now so your energy stretches farther later. And isn't that what we want to do? Our goal this last couple of weeks during this holiday season has been to look at what can we do intentionally? How can we organize our time? How can we be productive? How can this productivity help us enjoy this holiday season and the end of 2025? So that's what we've been focusing on. And so people have been asking me, Megan, why the sloths for the holiday? Well, we actually can learn a lot from sloths. The sloths model, when we think about it, although I fell in love with sloths, yes, I fell in love and have a lot on my Instagram feeds, I am not going to lie. But when you think about it, we can actually learn from them. Sloths model calm, intentional planning that we need at this time of year. When you think about it, they organize their energy before they move. They're not willy-nilly just running around, right? They don't repeat effort. Sloths only move when it matters. They create predictable patterns, and they rest without apologizing. Can't we learn from that? Isn't that how we want to attack this season? The season brings lists, logistics, obligations, and expectations. Without intention, everything becomes urgent. Our goal is to learn from our friends, the sloths, and not have everything become urgent. So today we are going to specifically look at two things. We're going to look at how to create your own end of the year organized productivity checklist. And we're going to have a top 10 list that talks about what we need to do to organize the end of our year. So what do we want to think when we're thinking about a productivity end of the year checklist? We want to think about what it is and what it is not. End of the year productivity checklist, when we think about it, our goal is that it is a practical way to finish work. It's a tool to reduce January rework, and it's a system for deciding done, scheduled, or pause. What we're trying to do right now is put together an end of the year productivity checklist that identifies for us what is it that we have to do, what is it that we need to do now, what is it that we need to prepare to do later. Our goal for the end of the year productivity checklist is not for it to be a hustle plan. It isn't a rush and slam everything in before December 31st. And it is not another thing to be like, I'm going to fail. When we think about it, organized beats rushed every time. And so our goal with the end of the year productivity checklist is to identify what do we need to do between now and the end of the year, and how can we take control of it and be intentional so that we're not rushing. Again, let's learn from our friends, the sloth. Why creating this end of the year organized productivity checklist works? Because it makes and opens, what it does is it helps us to organize our energy. We're opening loops that we are going to know what we're focused on. We are not going to have so many mental tabs. One of the things I think about at the end of the year is I think of our brains kind of like a laptop screen or a computer screen where we have millions and millions of tabs open and we're trying to figure out what ones to close. The goal of an end of the year checklist is to take control of the tabs that are open in our brain, to begin to identify what do we need to close, what can we keep open, and what can we deal with later. It is a checklist that helps us to be realistic and intentionally park what we don't need to do and allow us to finish the year, because a sloth truth, clear endings create easier beginnings. We want to end 2025 strong so we can start 2026 very powerful and have control over our year. How our checklists are structured. Notice I haven't shown you the checklist yet. I'm going to. But the reason I haven't is because I want you to think about what you need in a checklist. Our goal in this conversation is about the process so that you can begin to think. And yes, quick note, if you email me, I'm happy to send you the checklist so that you can have it for your starting point. But this checklist, how we're going to use the checklist and structure it, is we're going to identify what's done, what's scheduled, what's paused, and assign an action to everything that's open. If we're able to, on our checklist, have a dump of all the things we think we need to do, then we can go through and say, this is open and I need to deal with this. And that's where we're going to focus our time, effort, and energy. When we think about it, again, we can learn from our sloth friends. Our goal is, if it's not scheduled, it's not done, then it's still open. The goal with our checklist, how we're structuring it, is we're identifying what's open and what's done. If it hasn't been rescheduled or completed, then it's still open and we know we need to focus on it. So our goal is to structure our checklist so that we're able to identify what we need to do quickly. When we think about it, our goal is to get from our head everything we've got going that we might be thinking of. We want to get all that information from our head. We want to get it into our checklist so we've got one place to look. We can learn from our friends the sloths again with an important sloth rule. Nothing lives only in our head. We don't want things to live in our head. We want to create an end of the year organized productivity checklist that's going to help us know where we want to focus our time, effort, and energy. And that way we can spend time doing other things we might want to do. So now let's talk a little bit about the checklist. Let's start to look about what the checklist is going to cover. So there's two approaches. Some people like to have one checklist for business and personal. Some people like to have a business checklist. Some people like to have a separate personal checklist. There's no wrong answer. The important thing is to start with intention and say, what is inside our checklist? What is it we want to track? One of the things you'll notice that I've got listed, again, what do we want to include on the checklist? Work projects, are they closed? Tasks and loose ends, files, notes, and digital clutter, right? We want to identify, is there any communication and follow-ups that we need to work on? What are those admin, finance, and logistical tasks? Is there something I have to pay on December 31st? Have a calendar appointment so you know you need to do it and have it on your checklist, right? I hope you see when we're talking about what's on our checklist, it's our calendar, it's our actions and our activities. It's what we need to do for ourselves. It's what we need to do for our personal lives, for our families and businesses. When we think about it, you want to start with the end in mind and you want to be intentional. Where are you going to track everything and what do you need to track? And that's what we're going to do. When we think about it, oftentimes December bleeds into January, and our goal right now is to have a clear delineation, know what we're going to do in December so we can be done, and then where we want to pick up in January. Sloth reminder, organized doesn't mean finished. It means accounted for. And that's what I hope this is helping you to identify. We're not trying to say that we're finishing everything. We're trying to be realistic and account for the tasks we need to finish between now and the end of the year. So that's where we're looking at what's inside the checklist. Then let's take an actual look at a checklist, right? So you could do a checklist in a couple of different ways. You could have a document with your checklist. You could have create cute something that you would like. You could create a spreadsheet or a Google Doc. Anything that you want to create, it's fine. The goal is that you visually are able to go through each of your categories, each thing you need to group and say, done, I have finished that. Another good thing for a checklist, and one of the reasons I love having a checklist, is because you celebrate your progress. Don't we all love to check something off when we're done? This is what we're creating. Let's check off 2025 and be done with this year. This checklist is our goal to help you to do that. So it is important with every end of the year productivity checklist, and this is where we're going to learn from our friends, the sloth. If it's not assigned, it's not done. So one of the things we need to do and make sure in our checklist is that every task has an outcome. It either finishes with status of being done, scheduled, or paused, and that the action is that you have an action scheduled. One of our goals with our end of the year productivity checklist, we have no floating to-dos. We have no, oh, remember that. Maybe you will, maybe you won't. A productivity checklist, end of the year, make sure you don't have to count on your brain to remember things, that you can let your brain have fun, enjoy the end of the year celebrations. So we want to think about how do we build action into our checklist? That is important. And then, of course, we want to make it a party for our eyes. It is super important that we have it visually appealing to us, so we want to look at it. Sloth truth, if you don't like looking at it, you won't. And so you'll see we have an example of a checklist that in this case is a Google Doc, or excuse me, a Google spreadsheet. And you'll notice that it's got the categories listed, it's got specific tasks listed, the completion status, if it's assigned, and then any notes, as well as sloth celebrations. I'm going to celebrate when I start finishing things. Our goal with this checklist is to start with a process of saying it's the end of the year and it's going to be the beginning of a new year. So we want to go into it with some intentional planning, and we want to ask ourselves, what are the things we need to do now so that we have a better January of 2026? And that's why we've been spending so much time talking about that today. My goal for you, my recommendation, sit down and just spend a few minutes and ask yourself what you need to do and how you want to track the end of the year. Maybe it's a spreadsheet like that's a party for your eyes like me. Maybe it's not. Either is okay, as long as you've taken the time to decide how you want to end of the year. This is a productivity tool. This isn't a feel-good exercise. This is about follow-through. The reason we're doing this is because we want to reduce decision fatigue. We want to prevent last week's scrambling. We want to create cleaned handoffs, and we want to protect time off. This is how you finish your year professionally, even during the holidays, is by taking just a little bit of time to identify how you're going to take control and how you are going to, again, be a sloth approved with your checklist and with your organization. Sloth reminder, finishing well is productive. So that's why we spent so much time today talking about your productivity checklist. Now, one thing I want to let you know is if you would like a copy of this checklist, if you would like the spreadsheet format, please feel free to drop an email to me at hey@productivitymegan.com, and I'll be happy to send my spreadsheet checklist to you so you can get started. The goal again is to take time, be intentional, make it yours. As you can see and as you know, I always Meganize my things. So now it's time for you to UIs the end of this year and identify how you're going to make it the most productive. As we have been learning from our sloth friends over the past couple of years, or excuse me, past couple of weeks, expending our energy and taking time to be intentional about it is going to help us to be able to be in the flow and with what we're doing. So that's why I think it's so important. We want to finish what matters and then park the rest, right? It really is important to, I will tell you, I love when I can say future. I'm going to deal with that in the future. And so give yourself that peace-filled productivity season by creating a strong ending for the year. Now let's take a look at our top 10 list. As each over the last, during the Sloth holiday productivity season, each and every week we've had a top 10 list. The goal is top 10 actions, actionable items you can throw on your to-do list, not just throw, but you can add to your to-do list so that you are able to finish the year organized. And again, our goal with this is that it is a Sloth-approved checklist. The top 10, so here let's look at the top 10 organized ways to finish the year without dragging it into January. These are organization activities. These are not mindset shifts. These are specific activities that you can do. Pick what fits for you, personalize your checklist, and as a sloth does, finish this year deliberately. So here's my top 10 list for you. Take the actions that will be helpful for you. Create 1 year the end command list. That's what we're talking about right now. One list where you add everything you've got to do so you can look in one place to identify what you need to do. 2, sort open items by status, not necessarily by urgency, not necessarily by what is urgent, but look at the status of what you have to finish when and sort items then. 3, identify what needs documentation, not completion. There might be some things of, oh, I just need to document this, or oh, I just need to make a note of this. In that case, identify that, use a voice note, make a document, and put it away for later, right? 4, capture loose ends that only live in your head. This goes back to having an end of the year command list. Have one place where you're able to have a capture list and drop down any notes or thoughts that you've got. 5, finalize file locations. No deep cleanup. It's just as important to say, where is everything going at the end of this year? 6, create a return ready list. Are there things, actions, or time, or things that you need to return? Start a list so you can start to actionize and put those into your calendar for when you're going to do those. 7, top 10. Again, we're on our top 10 Sloth approves how to finish your year end of the year organized. Our 7th thing is close communication loops. If there's people that you work with regularly, have that year end conversation. It's great talking to you, Megan. I will talk to you again in January. Also, don't say January 3rd. Give yourself some time. We'll talk again on January 10th. Again, close that communication. Number 8, personalize your year-end checklist. I'm telling you what works for me and what's worked for my clients. These are suggestions. Take it and make it yours. Number 9, do one final reality calendar check. It is so important to do one final calendar reality check. Look at your calendar at what you actually have time for. And if you know that it's not going to work, then you need to say that and take it off your calendar now. Set realistic expectations for the end of the year. And then 10, declare the year organized. Just say, I'm done. Declare that you have finished your year organized and you know what you're going to do. As we're thinking of these top 10 actions, it is so important. As a sloth reminder, organization is not about doing more. It's about knowing where things stand. It's about finishing your year organized. It's about finishing the important things so that your January starts lighter. Again, that is my goal for you, is that you're able to end this year with a great note and that you're able to start 2026 with intentionality. So that's why we've been looking at this sloth productivity season. And that's why we've been learning from our friends, the sloths. How can we be better? How can we be more productive? How can we conserve our energy? And how can we have a peace-filled season? Now it is time, as every week, my goal is that you take away at least one actionable item. So this week, as we have talked about organizing your productivity end of the year checklist, as we have talked about the top 10 action of end of the year actions you can take to be productive, my goal is for you to end make this your season of brightness and cheer by take time to plan your end of the year. Sit down for 5 minutes and just ask yourself how you want to spend the next week. Personalize your end of the year plan And if you are interested, please feel free to email me at hey@productivitymegan.com, and I would be more than happy to send you a copy of this checklist as well so that you can personalize it for yourself. I want to thank you for joining me. I want to thank you for joining me today and this entire holiday season. I want to thank you for your intentionality and for taking time to be more intentional about your productivity. Our goal with your productivity being more intentional so that you're able to enjoy the lives you've created so hard to enjoy. Thank you for joining me today. I am Megan. I am your very favorite strategic productivity partner. I will be back next Thursday at 2 p.m. Pacific as every week, and we will continue our holiday sloth end of the year productivity series. You're watching me on YouTube. You are watching me on USA Global TV and Radio's YouTube channel. Please remember, take a moment, like, subscribe, even be notified when new episodes drop. Check out the other information that's out there. I sincerely hope that you have a very, very happy holiday season. I hope that you have a very, very end of the year that is productive and just as you would like. If you have questions, please remember to reach out to me at hey@productivitymegan.com. In the meantime, here is a word from our sponsor.
From the magical world of the amazing adventures of Lady Ella comes a heartwarming new journey filled with kindness, courage, and compassion. Lady Ella, the beloved ladybug and listening mentor, is back, and this time she's not alone. Meet her brave and thoughtful brother, Lord Jack. Together, they take flight on their very first kindness adventure. Along the way, they meet 3 new friends in need: a duck feeling discouraged, a mouse struggling to be understood, and a busy little bee who's completely lost. But with the power of elevated listening and simple acts of kindness, Lady Ella and Lord Jack show us how understanding and empathy can make the biggest difference in someone's day. Written by Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck, the listening mentor, this 9th book in the best-selling Lady Ella series teaches children ages 5 to 10 the essential skills of listening, kindness, and etiquette. Now available for pre-order on Amazon. Scan the QR code and order your copy today.
Thank you, viewers and listeners of USA Global TV and Radio, for joining us today. We're honoured to have your time and attention as part of our global community. At USA Global TV and Radio, we believe in the power of authentic conversations, meaningful connections, and creating a world of possibilities together. Want to be part of something bigger? Join our team of elevated listeners at usaglobaltv.com, a space where your voice matters and your ability to listen transforms relationships. Stay connected with us across all our platforms for thought-provoking discussions, expert insights, and empowering stories. Subscribe to our channels at youtube.com/c/usaglobaltv. Follow us on social media and explore the endless opportunities we're creating for growth, learning, and inspiration. Together, we're not just broadcasting, we're building bridges and changing lives one conversation at a time. For inquiries, contact us at info@usaglobaltv.com. Music by Johnny Dyes. Produced by Executive Producer and Director Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck. Voiceover by Mike Porter. Creative Direction by Paul Garcia. All rights reserved. Copyright 2025. Visit usaglobaltv.com to view our full terms and conditions.